Okay, so all we're doing today is we've covered everything we need to know for the test already. We're just going back and we're going to be reviewing and looking at things that I know give kids a hard time. And this particular situation is one of the weaknesses that maybe half the kids have right now. And that is finding the perimeter of this particular type of shaded region where you have positive and negative space. I think the area is pretty straightforward, but it's not bad for us to review. What would be our strategy for finding the area of this shape? Let's start with the area, because that's what you usually do. What would you use for your strategy, Jack?
You would find the whole thing.
And what is the whole thing?
16 times 16.
What shape is it?
It's a square.
Okay. Right here is the whole thing, and then?
And then find the 2 semicircles, but you would only have to do it for a whole circle and subtract it.
Okay, good. That's a great strategy. And remember how my direction was to organize your space and tell me what you're going to do before you start doing it. For a problem like this, you would say, okay, the shaded area is the area of the square minus the area of the circle. And you go ahead and you get your answer. We're not going to actually do it because I'm actually confident that you guys can do this. This isn't where the problem lies. The problem lies with the second part of this and when you have to find a perimeter of it. I'm having a lot of kids have a basic thinking error that's just wrong that they keep using, and I want to squash that out of your brains forever. All right? Can you think about what students might be doing on here that's just wrong, but they keep doing it? What do you think it might be? Lena? They find part of the perimeter and they stop. That is a problem, but that's not the bigger problem. You're right, that is a problem, but there's something else. Something else. Alec? No? Please? No, that's kind of going towards what Lena was like. They might strand somebody. It's a thinking error. Maybe you're all making it. That's why you can't figure it out. Margaret?
I don't think it matters, but like they might find a both and subtract.
Yes. That is wrong.
No, it's wrong.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Taking the perimeter of the square and subtracting away the perimeter of the circle, it doesn't make sense. That's not what's going on here. The perimeter of this shape is the perimeter of it. Go back to your ladybug, put your pencil on your paper, and think about it. The ladybug walks that line. How long is that line?
16.
16. And then should I subtract anything?
No.
The ladybug walks this line. What is that? What is that? Just in words, Callie.
It's the circumference, half circumference of a semicircle.
Half the circumference of a circle. I gotta add it to it. Then the ladybug has to walk this line. What should I do with that? Mason?
16 again.
What about 16?
Plus 16.
Plus. I gotta add it. And then, like Lena said, don't strand the poor creature. You gotta bring them back around. What should I do to get that in my perimeter? Yeah. Add another half circumference. Yes, Connie? Yes. Yes. But my point here is that when you're finding a perimeter, you add, add, add. What do you do when you find perimeter?
Add. Sounds like
Thank you.
multiply.
You're not. If you were doing perimeter and you were subtracting, it's almost like you would be removing part of the line and the ladybug would be flying over it. So you have to take that piece of it out. But I'm never giving you problems where the ladybug has to fly over a gap in the perimeter. All right? So when you find perimeter, you should add. Thank you.
Add.
All right. Thank you.
I just coughed up mucus on my shirt.
There truly are things you don't need to share. That would fall into that category.
Probably.
Moving on. Yes, like the case. Okay, I'm not actually gonna take us through the math of this, because you guys all are great at finding circumference and doing that. The whole point, though, the problem is coming from the people who are thinking about subtracting during perimeter. No, all right? So just because you subtract to find the area, doesn't mean you're gonna be subtracting to find the perimeter. Yes, Connor?
How would you do 16 times 16?
16 times 16 gives you the area.
Of the rectangle, square.
Oh, yeah.
Don't confuse the areas with the perimeters, okay? Bottom line, that's it.
This is